What's up, guys? Matt Brown here for lineups.com. Let's talk a little Week 12 Survivor. If you're still here, congrats that you are still in your pool. We had a pretty benign week last week. Not a lot of upsets, not a lot of crazy stuff going on over there in Survivor. So with that, we find ourselves in an interesting situation this week because I kind of feel like three teams are going to get 80, 85 or more % of all of the picks this week, but we'll see how it all breaks down. Of course, here's Noop's article over here. We'll get back to that in just a second, but we'll come in here and take a look and see that. I mean, I guess we can throw the Packers in there, 6.5 point favorites. Don't think anybody's going in that direction. Suppose we could throw the Patriots in here. Don't think anyone's going in that direction. Lions at home, 10.5 point favorites over the Giants. Don't know if that's going to be Jackson Dart or not for the Giants, but he is trending in the right direction. Seattle on the road, 13 point favorites over the Titans. Titans, the worst team in the NFL, the lowest power rated team in just about everybody's power ratings out there. Ravens are 13.5 point home favorites over the Jets. Then scroll down a little bit further here. We see, if you wanted to go that direction, I suppose Rams 6.5 over the Bucks seems a little too dicey for me. And then the 49ers here as a touchdown favorite over the Panthers. Bryce Young did practice in full, so it looks like he's going to be good to go even after tweaking that ankle of his. 49.5 is the total there in that one. You can see expected to be some offense. So, like I said, think there's going to be 3 teams that just soak up almost all of the ownership this week as far as the picks go. And it's not actually one of the double-digit favorites. It's not the Lions. The Lions' availability is not near as high as some of these other teams. So I think that there's some people who a lot more people use those Lions team, and also Lions still have a decent amount of future value. And so probably trying to hold on to that team as much as you possibly can. This is one of them, Seattle. Listen, anytime you can pick on the Titans, look, they're 1-9. How bad did the Texans play last week and still won? Right? I know it had to be a walk-off field goal, but still. How bad did the Texans play last week and still won? Seattle has a defense that is right up there with the Texans, and you saw Titans were not able to do anything against that defense whatsoever, but an offense that is exponentially better than what you get out of the Texans. So this is going to be a hugely popular pick. My guess is second or third most popular this week, as Seattle is at least been used a decent amount in a lot of the pools out there. But if you have them available, I bet a lot of people that have them available are going to use them this week against the Titans. I have no problems with that whatsoever, unless you have also Baltimore and also San Francisco, or the other 2 teams that I think are going to soak up all of the entries this week. If you have the Ravens and Seattle, I would play the Ravens and I would save Seattle. Seattle at least has a little bit of future value, especially if you think Seattle's as good as I think that they are, because they still have Minnesota at home, which, by the way, have you seen J.J. McCarthy play? He's horrific. They have the Falcons. It is on the road, but, oh, by the way, Penix is out for the season. It's Kirk Cousins. Have you seen Kirk Cousins play? He's also horrific. Absolute dust. And then if you make it to week 17, it's not a click you're going to love making, but again, it is at least an option for you, which is Seattle at Carolina. So there is at least that option as well. Remember, Seattle's going to be playing all the way down to the wire here. They might be playing for the number 1 seed. They might be playing for the division championship. They might even be playing for just to make the playoffs, considering how wacky things could end up getting. But Seattle's not going to be taking it easy. So I mean, they'll be playing super hard in week 17 and 18. So again, I think Seattle I would hold them if I had the choice between the Ravens and Seattle. Ravens number 1 with a bullet for me this week for a couple different reasons. One, I think it's the last chance you're going to really love clicking them, because if Joe Burrow doesn't come back this week, which all of a sudden now he might come back this week, that means he'll probably definitely be back on Thanksgiving, barring any sort of setback or whatever, or something like that. And I don't think And oh, by the way, so will Jamar Chase, because Jamar Chase is suspended this week, so he basically gets a bye week and get his body right. I don't think you want to pick on Burrow and Chase and whatever and all that. Short week, everything. I don't know, man. To me, I mean, Baltimore number one with a bullet this week as far as the choices go. Like number one with a bullet. If you have the Ravens available, I'm playing the Ravens. If you do not have the Ravens or Seattle available, I do believe the next most popular choice is going to be San Francisco. San Francisco at home against the Panthers. They are full touchdown favorites. I bet you they get over 20% this week. They might get 25% this week against the Panthers. I think it's the scariest click of the week, but it is the Panthers traveling all the way across the country. Bryce Young at least somewhat compromised, right? I mean, he's got some sort of ankle injury thing going on. And, 49ers offense at least starting to look at least a little bit more competent out there. Definitely the third choice for me. And certainly if you have Baltimore or Seattle, you're playing them over San Francisco, mainly because San Francisco has a bye week in week 14 and then gets the Titans at home in week 15. The slam dunk spot of the week, coming out of a bye, 2 weeks to prepare for the worst team in the NFL. So, again, the third choice for me by a long shot. If you have Baltimore or Seattle, you're going those directions. But if not, if you don't have either one of those, then San Francisco, I think, is a fine choice. I would probably, if Detroit was available for me, feel more comfortable about Detroit against the Giants. Giants defense is bad, and so the Lions pummel bad defenses, right? Good defenses struggle. We saw that last week with the Eagles, but they pummel bad defenses. And so the power ratings for me this week, again, Ravens by a long shot, Seattle, Detroit, San Francisco. Outside of that, if you're getting outside of those four teams, I think you're getting too cute. Odds are you have one of those four teams left. It would be very shocking to me if you did not have one of those four teams left. If you did not, then the only other thing, and I can't imagine you got this far without playing the Packers or whatever, but I would play the Packers against the Vikings because I do believe that the Vikings are trash. That J.J. McCarthy is trash, and with that, going on the road against the Packers, outdoors, all of that, I think is where. So again, if for whatever reason you find yourself without the Ravens number 1, Seattle number 2, Detroit number 3, San Francisco number 4. You burned all four of those teams. Green Bay then comes in as the 5th choice for the week. Outside of that, I think you're getting too cute. No need. And then also you're burning a team you might need for later, or you're just using a team that just doesn't have enough win equity for you here in this. And so that's where I'm going this week. I think those are the best routes with all of this. Oh, by the way, we did this the last couple of weeks. So here we go. Still alive. Skin of my teeth. Yes, the Texans get through. So we're heading to week number 12. I do have the Ravens available. I will be playing the Ravens this week. So the Ravens are going to be my choice over in Circa. Hopefully we're still talking about this out here in 17-18, and I'm making some money. But yeah, we're rolling along here. Going to play the Ravens here in week number 12 as 13.5 point favorites over the Jets, which are the second or third worst team in the NFL. And then we'll go from there. We'll see what happens on Thanksgiving, and because of course in Circa we have the special week, so we'll see what happens at Thanksgiving, see what happens on Christmas. But let's get there first, right? In week number 12, got to get the Ravens home again. My number 1 choice for the week. So glad that I have them still available over here. Noops' article available at lineups.com. You can kind of see where he's gives you some commentary on all the stuff that's going on, kind of his power rankings. He likes the Lions better than the Ravens, but again, I think the Lions have future value. So, I mean, that's the only reason for me that if I had the choice, I would not go there, because you're never going to hate clicking Detroit. I mean, they might not be the biggest favorite on the week, but you're going to be able to click on a top 5 team, and being able to click on a top 5 team just feels warm and fuzzy. It just feels great. So anyhow, guys, appreciate everything. If you haven't done so, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Let me know in the comment section who you are playing this week, and let's go at it. Let's win some money. Let's get a big check.